It's me, Mario!
What's up guys, I'm SeanRaider and welcome to my Super Mario 64 70-star speedrun guide. If you guys haven't already watched my other two guides, I recommend taking a look at them first. They'll give you a great foundation for setup and movement before we go into specifics. Links are at the top of the description. In this new series, I'll be going over the entire 70-star speedrun route in depth, giving different options for strats and commentating every bit of movement. I'll start each section with an uncommentated single-star run using my recommended beginner route, then proceed with the full explanation afterwards. Included in the description are timestamps for each star covered if you want to skip to a specific one. Keep in mind that this is a beginner guide. If you want to improve your gameplay even further, I highly recommend visiting the RTA guide on the SM64 wiki. It contains multiple options of varying difficulties for each star. I'll include a link in the description. Also, I can't stress enough how important the Usamune practice ROM is. It's a modified version of SM64 with tons of tools that make learning the speedrun 10 times easier. All the details are in my Getting Started guide. With all that said, let's get started right from the beginning. Timing in this game starts when the game starts up, so start your timer when you press F1 in Project 64 or the reset button on your console.
It's me, Mario!
Like I said earlier, I'm just gonna let this clip play, then fully explain it after. Alright, so as you guys saw, getting to the first level requires our first speedrun trick, Lakitu Skip. It's a trick that saves about 8 seconds if done right, and going for it doesn't lose you anything, so you may as well go for it even as a beginner. You won't have to follow my exact movement for most of this run, but this setup is pretty precise, so listen close. First, kick facing the upright notch, then long jump forward. Right in the middle of your long jump, press C right, then C down in that order. Keep holding up, then jump dive. If you did all this properly, the camera should be perfectly aligned with the edge of the bridge. Long jump and continue holding the Z button. If needed, try to correct yourself left or right so you land as close to the left edge of the bridge as possible. If you're too far right, Lakitu will talk to you and you'll lose about 8 seconds. Too far left and you'll fall off and ledge grab, forcing you to talk to him anyway. If you land in the correct spot and correctly kept the Z button held, you can simply press A again to perform a chained long jump and skip the Lakitu completely. Always enter the left door, as the animation's faster. Right as the screen starts to fade back in, we're going to press R to do a buffered camera change. This should make the camera face forward perfectly. Make your way over to the Bob-Omb Battlefield door. Now just do a couple long jumps to enter BOB.
Let's go! Here we go!
Behind Chain Chomp's gate is a star that can be done in two very different ways, and we'll go over both of them here. To start, you can press C left and C down at the same time as the screen fades from white to align your camera perfectly towards your destination. Long jump and do a few jump dives directly forward. When you get to the top of the ramp, turn your stick a little to the left and long jump across. This next part can be done in two very different ways, and both are doable by beginners. The easier method is to run into the Chain Chomp, then run through him and ground pound the pole 3 times. The second method is a well-known trick called Bomb Clip. It saves about 13 seconds, but can be extremely tricky and might take hours to completely nail, so I don't usually recommend it to beginners. But if you're feeling confident, keep listening. As you land from the long jump, hold neutral, then hold up again to grab the bomb. Hold directly left and tap A for as short as possible for a tiny jump. When you land, press A and B at the exact same time, holding down the A button for the max height jump. Just after jumping, go neutral on the stick and let Mario fall. The goal is to land just up left of the bomb so that pressing down right and punching will connect. As you're grabbing the bomb, go neutral on the stick and press C right. After a second, tap down very briefly to make sure your angle changes and you're heading straight for the gate. Make sure you're still holding neutral here. When you hit the gate, just press B and he should clip right in. Just single jump and ground pound to grab the star. I'll also quickly go over some common mistakes here. If you grab the bomb and he's too small to push you anywhere, you likely either didn't hold A long enough on the second jump, or you didn't press A and B at the same time when starting the second jump. If you land too far away from the bomb when you both hit the ground, it's because you didn't hold neutral at the right time at the start of the second jump. If you landed too far to the right of the bomb, you held neutral too early. If you landed too far to the left, you held neutral too late. You basically want to stop holding forward right at the peak of your jump. If you're still completely lost, Drogi recently put out a great bomb clip guide that goes more in depth on the trick than this one. I'll put it in the description along with any other resources I mention. After exiting the stage, we encounter our first save prompt of the run. If you're on N64, scrolling down twice and hitting continue and don't save will save a few frames each time you do it, which adds up over the course of the run. On emulator, Wii, and Wii U, however, this doesn't really do anything, so feel free to save and continue. Long jump and exit the room. This next part is already our first major route decision. You can either go up to the slide door and grab a star there, or just head straight for Whomp's fortress. Doing the slide star first means you'll finish Whomps with 9 stars instead of 8, so these routes are called Whomps 9 and Whomps 8 respectively. Whomps 9 saves just under a second over Whomps 8, but Whomps 8 allows you to enter the harder stage earlier, meaning you can reset earlier and save yourself some real life time. Both routes are very popular, and you can do whichever one you like more, but for the purposes of this guide, I'll be doing Whomps 8 as I don't think 1 second matters much to a beginner. Long jump down, then jump dive up right to open the door. Make sure you walk forward a little bit before long jumping to clear the fence, then long jump again to enter Whomp's fortress.
Let's go. Here we go! Yahoo! Yahoo! Here we go!
Whomp's 100 coin is a complicated star. It's one of the few where your speed is determined by cycles. See this red coin? There's no way to reasonably collect it aside from waiting for the plank to spin around. The plank isn't random, it will consistently be in the same place at the same time. As a beginner, you're aiming to make late cycle, which means making it to the plank around 32 seconds after entering the stage. To start, long jump onto the platform to grab the line of coins, side flip up to grab the other one, then long jump over to the ring. Make your way over to the other line of coins, then head down to the blue coin switch. Grab the blue coins, then make your way back up. This next part can be tricky and may take a couple attempts to figure out, so I quickly want to remind you that you should be using the save state feature on Usamune. Just pause and unpause, then you can press D-pad up to load the state, provided you have the keybind set properly. It's incredibly useful, especially for longer stars. Anyway, right as you get off the ramp, press C right and it'll line up the camera for the trick. Circle around, then fall off the platform, tapping A as you hit the ground, doing a short double jump. Triple jump into the red coin, but keep holding A during the triple, using that A hold to slope kick as you hit the ground. Hold right on the stick and jump, while kicking and holding down left to land on the plank. Press C right as soon as you land. You might not get up here as early as I did, but that's okay. As long as you make this cycle, you won't lose any time. As soon as the plank starts moving again, press C left. It's very important that you position yourself on the back half of this plank, as we're going to need a running start for a long jump. Hold upright and long jump, bouncing off the plant, then adjust your stick so you hit the wall as far right as possible. After wall kicking, hold down right, then press C right twice and land on this platform. Use your momentum to turn up right, then hold directly up to walk safely across the bridge. Press C left twice and grab the blue coin, then walk over to the red coin. As you get close to the second plant, dive to kill it and wait for the coin to spawn. Now I just want to rewind for a second here. This plant's blue coin takes a while to collect, and the more common 100 coin route collects 6 extra coins before making the same cycle, provided you're fast enough. Meaning you don't have to kill this second plant at all. This route is quite a bit harder, but still definitely doable by beginners, so I'll go over it. After collecting this ring, dive roll out directly left, then press C left immediately after rolling out. This is important to set up your camera. Long jump directly forward and keep holding Z. Holding Z when long jumping onto a slope ensures you can jump immediately on landing. Press A and B at the same time to jump dive as soon as you hit the ramp. If you set up the camera correctly, this should collect the coin. Hold down left, then switch to holding down as you slide further, then roll out into the line of coins. Dive twice, then jump to ground pound the switch. After collecting the blues, run to the right, then side flip directly upwards. If you look at the very bottom of the wall, you can see sets of lines. Try to position yourself between the 2 bottom lines shown here as you side flip. Wall kick and continue holding up, then hold up right as you start to fall to land as far left as possible on this platform. Immediately after double jumping here, hold hard left, then hold right when you're sure you've cleared the ceiling. Press A to get up and press C left twice. Grab the 6 coins in your path, then turn directly forward. Kicking, then double jumping just to the right of the pillar. At around the peak of your jump, hold directly back for a moment, then kick and immediately hold forward again. If you accidentally dive, it means you didn't hold back early enough. When you land on the slope, keep holding forward and let Mario take a step or two to correct your angle. Then jump dive to clear the fence. Wait until the plank returns to you, then do the same movement I went over earlier. With this route, we can simply walk to the left of the plant, as we collected the extra 5 from that ring earlier. Now we're officially caught up with the beginner route, as every route basically has the same ending. One of the major benefits of using this harder route is that the next step up from it basically uses the same movement. If you do everything I talked about really fast, you can get to the plank fast enough to do a strat called half cycle, where you basically grab all the coins on the other side, then come back for the plank. I won't go into the details here, but doing this harder route will help you get used to it, and eventually you'll easily pick up half cycle. For now though, let's just get back to the ending. After doing this up left side flip, wall kick and dive onto the island, rolling out and holding right to fall into the coins. Collect these 6, then jump dive across to the red. Hold up left, then jump to the arrow. Here we're going to use a delayed side flip to move in a pattern, collecting every coin. Hold forward, then back, then down left before finally executing the side flip. This allows you to move around and collect the coins while still preparing a side flip. Dive when you get close to the ground, then roll out through the remaining 2 coins. Hold left and jump off, then hold right and kick into the red coin. Press C right, then jump forward, diving and rolling out into the last red. Fall and grab the last ring of coins. You'll notice here that there are 2 extra coins, and there would be 3 extras if I did the harder route. This means you can miss 2 to 3 coins throughout the route and still be fine. After grabbing the 100 coin star, just long jump over to the red star. As a little side note, if you still miss too many coins, you can just grab this box for an extra few.
Let's go! Here we go!
Cannonless is a pretty intimidating looking trick, but it's actually pretty simple. To start, long jump forward into the tree, then climb just a little to correct your angle before jumping off. Dive, then do another jump dive. During this rollout, press C right, then long jump directly forward, pressing C right again during the long jump. Switch to holding up right briefly, then hold up left as soon as you land. Walk for a split second, then jump dive when you're facing the bridge. Roll out and zoom the camera out, then hold left very briefly before holding up to start walking across the bridge. Now, to explain Cannonless, I'm going to split it into two different methods: plank push setup and sock folder setup. Plank push is the easier one. Jump across, then jump again to position yourself near the ledge and just to the right of the plank. If you're too far away from the ledge, the setup can fail, so try to get sorta close. When you're in position, jump, then nudge to the left until the plank pushes you a little to the right. After this happens, tiptoe directly down and grab the ledge. If you did this correctly, you'll be in the perfect position to perform Cannonless. That's plank push. The sock folder setup is quite a bit trickier. After collecting the third coin, do a tiny jump and immediately start holding right. Once you've fallen below the plank, switch to holding left and keep holding it until you grab the ledge. If you do this properly, you should ledge grab in approximately the same spot as plank push. However, it's very easy to mess up the jump and accidentally grab too far right, messing up the setup. If you look closely here, you're basically just trying to get Mario's right hand to be just left of this white line on the bricks. From here on, both setups do the exact same thing. Press A to get up. Hold Z and press A to backflip, pressing C left twice while in the air. Punch and make sure the full punch animation comes out. Tiptoe directly down. While hanging on the ledge, press C right, then C left to reset the camera position. Then, simply press up to do the slow get up, then hold down at any point during the get up animation. This trick is extremely consistent if you perform the inputs right, especially if you do plank push. The number one issue people tend to have is holding directly down. There are 2 to 3 parts during this trick that require you to hold directly down, and this can be tricky for people just starting out, as holding even slightly left or right can ruin your entire setup. If you're having trouble, look down at your controller during the trick sometimes to make sure you're doing it right.
Let's go. Here we go!
Shoot into the wild blue is a pretty simple star. Long jump forward into the tree and press C right and C down. Hold up to climb until you're facing this direction, then jump dive up. Make your way over to the downward ramp, but make sure not to change your camera at all. Now this part is important. The camera can be very finicky down here, and to get the right angle, you need to press C left at a fairly specific part. A good reference point is right after you pass this yellow arrow. If you lined up the camera right, you should just be able to side flip directly up as soon as you get to the bottom of the ramp, while kicking up to the platform. Lastly, doing a slide kick here ensures you won't grab the pole on the way to the star.
Let's go.
Whomp King is also a pretty simple star. Start off with similar movement to Cannonless, diving in extra time this time. After rolling out, hold up left and do the highest single jump you can do, then the shortest double jump you can do, then triple jump wall kick up to the island. Circle around and long jump over to the Whomp King. A slightly faster way of doing this is to jump dive onto the stairs instead of just jumping, then long jumping up onto this slope. When you get close to the top, circle your control stick from up to left, then jump when you start sliding. At this point, you can either take an easy ledge grab, or try to hold back and kick, which is a bit harder. Once you're up, just jump and delayed dive into his range. This fight abuses the fact that you're basically invincible when you ground pound. Just single jump and ground pound through him 3 times, and try to move a little to the left after each jump, making it easier to jump off of him and reposition. No matter where you kill him, the star will always spawn in the same place. You'll get a feel for where it spawns after a while, but a general guideline is to look at this corner here and count 4 dark lines over. Even if you don't end up right on the star, it's not a big deal and barely loses any time.
Go. Here we go.
The Tower Star is very similar to Whomp King. Do the exact same movement to get to the top of the stage. You can also use the harder movement here, both the ledge grab or the kick. When you get to the top, press C right. Make your way over to the lowest platform and single jump up. Right as you land, hold down right and press C left, then side flip up left. Wall kick, then land or grab the ledge. I usually wait until this line disappears before I execute the side flip upright. There's also another harder method you could try which saves a bit of time. After kicking up here, press C right and hold left until you've moved past the edge of this platform. Switch to holding directly up, press A and B to kick, then double jump up to the platform. Immediately after double jumping, switch to holding up left. Triple jump dive off the platform and switch to holding up near the peak of your jump, barely making it up. I also want to mention that this star should be done second last or last, because completing it makes the owl spawn in the tree, which can be super annoying for other stars.
Go.
Alright, so right off the bat, I want to address the trick that every new player wants to pick up, Owlless. I will not be going over it in this guide. The reason is that Owlless only saves 3 to 4 seconds and is extremely tricky for new players to get the hang of because of how complex wall kick timing and height is. My advice is to wait until you've run the game for a while before attempting Owlless. If you really want to give it a go, Drogi has an extremely in-depth guide which I'll leave in the description. Using the owl is a pretty simple task, but it has a weird interaction you need to watch out for. Long jump into the tree and press C left twice. Climb up until the owl spawns, then tap right to angle yourself to jump right under the owl. The reason this is important is because of a mechanic called stored speed. If you jump from directly under the owl, he'll drop you straight down when you release A. If you jump into him with a lot of speed, when he releases you, he'll throw you off with the same speed you grabbed him with. For this reason, it's a good idea to grab him from directly below with as little horizontal speed as you can manage. If you did this properly, simply tap right a few times to position yourself over the cage, and drop right down into the star. And that marks the end of part 1. If you guys found this helpful, I'd really appreciate a like or a sub. These videos take a long time to make, but I'd love to keep pumping out more parts if there's interest. If you guys need any more help, or just want to see some of my own speedruns in action, I stream 4 to 5 days a week on my Twitch channel. Feel free to come over and ask any questions you like. Thanks so much for watching.